Hey everyone, Renegade68 here with some more 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors blind. Last time, in the finale, which I don't know how I'm gonna split that up, that was what, like 3 hours? Nah, maybe more like 2.5. I learned a lot of things. I got a lot of questions answered. And then I got some new mindfuck questions. Where did June go? How did she just disappear? Where was Santa? What? And that was the ending. I mean, it might as well have put a to be continued there. Like, really? The end or is it could be next game, but I don't think that's the true ending. I really don't think that's the true ending. I don't want that to be the true ending. Now this is my third playthrough. My plan this time is I'm probably going to go through door 4, try and get the 4-leaf clover because I can. Then I'm going to go through door 3 if I can, and then I'm going to go through door 2 if I can. I'm going to probably do a little clip show of the beginning stuff just to show my choices, and then I'll cut to going to door 3 or whatever, and that's how I'm going to start this playthrough. But, yeah, let's get happening. Junpei asked, which pair? We've used both of these, so I guess we're just going to use the last one, as much as I don't want Santa near June, because I'm pretty sure he's a creepy stalker. I think, at least according to our first playthrough. Santa and June, you think you can give me a hand here? The poem was a little too on the nose, but the move was still grim. Both Santa and June lifted their left hand silently. He verified, and she followed suit. 5 plus 3 plus 6 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. They fulfilled the conditions. If they were to pull the lever on the side. You guys ready? I'm gonna open it. Junpei grabbed the lever and looked back over his shoulder. They stiffened and nodded. Junpei nodded back and set his mouth in a grim line. Then he slowly lowered the lever. Junpei thought back. Zero said, "Only 2 people can go through." And only 2 people can go through. Or something like that. No, wait, that was wrong. It was on the tip of Junpei's tongue when Lotus beat him to the punch. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. That is what the letter said. In other words, no less than 3 and no more than 5. Exactly. Snake inclined his head toward Lotus. The ninth man, however, broke that rule. 8365. What would the digital root be? 3. 3. It would be 3. That meant there was no way they could pass through the door 4. Wait. No, that wasn't right. No, something didn't seem right. Junpei ran the numbers again. 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4. You repeated what he determined. It's 4. I have 4 recent numbers, and the digital root is 4. So we can go to door 4. Yeah, that worked out well. Should he stay silent and go through door 4? Or should he stop them all and insist on door 5? As he turned his options over and over in his mind, he spoke up. Alright then. It seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go? He began to walk toward door 5. Clover and Snake followed with 7 a short distance behind. Junpei, which door do you want to go through? Yeah, door 4. And I want the 4-leaf clover. I don't want that happening to Clover ever again. He'd go through door 4 with Lotus, Santa, and June. Why did Junpei even consider doing otherwise? He'd be there for June, and for the 4-leaf clover, because I care a little more about Clover, actually. This is for Kane Kurashiki. That seemed good. He felt it was the right choice to make. Are you worried about me? Oh, let's try and do as many options as we can. Hey, come on, it's not like that. Hey, come on, it's not like that. Junpei did his best to act as though he didn't care. His best wasn't very good. I guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy. She giggled. By the way, Jumpy? How'd you end up in here? Was that the only difference? That's such a small difference. I looked earlier, didn't I? Yeah. Literally. There's a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on D-deck. Yeah, that's it. But is that really the truth? What? Jumpy, are you hiding something from me? I don't think so. Why would I? Do you think this boat is, the actual Titanic? The actual Titanic? The actual Titanic? You mean it, like, slipped through time and ended up here? Before the ship sunk on April 14th, 1912? Yes. The hell are you smoking? Huh? Did I get it wrong? Junpei grinned and shook his head. No, that's not... I mean, come on. Slip through time? Seriously. I was talking about the controversy surrounding the Titanic. Controversy? What do you mean? Haven't you heard of it? It's pretty famous, you know. Oh, really? The Titanic has a sister ship. What? We could have learned about it right now? So much earlier? As a sister ship that was essentially identical. It was called the Olympic. This is the first time we're hearing of the third ship. Cool. Oh yes, I have heard of that. If I remember correctly, the Olympic was a ship that had a lot of problems. And the company that owned it didn't know how to get rid of it, right? So they made the Olympic up to look just like the brand new Titanic. And then they sunk it on purpose. That's right. They also took out a huge insurance policy on it before it set sail. That would mean that the real Titanic never sank. Yeah, the ships got swapped. The real Titanic was renamed the Olympic in secret and was used as a passenger ship for more than 20 years. Hey, wait a minute. Wouldn't that mean it retired in 1935? Huh? Well, yeah, I guess sometime around then, yeah. Well, what happened to it after that? Heard it was dismantled. Dismantled? Then it doesn't matter, does it? Whichever boat the real Titanic was doesn't exist anymore. It was either retired and dismantled or sunk in the Atlantic by the curse. But then that would mean that this ship is... Wait, what did you just say? Huh? Sank in the Atlantic because of what? The curse. What do you mean a curse? A curse is a curse. This one is the curse of the Egyptian mummy. Now we're getting some familiar territory. So the Olympic, huh? Finally have the name of the third ship. It only took me 3 playthroughs. I couldn't understand how June had maintained a straight face to say that. Supposedly the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amon-Ra, which was stolen from a pyramid. Santa pretended to shiver with disgust and shoved the bookmark into Junpei's confused hands. Junpei, what do you want to do? Well, saying don't take it would increase, would get me closer to that 100% completion rate. But, I don't want to not take it. I want it. I want to help Clover. I don't want that happening. At least, not in this playthrough. I'm taking it. Decided to take it. After all, why shouldn't he? Alright, sure, I'll take it. He shoved the thing into his pocket and gave Santa a last confused look. Here, man, I feel a lot better now. That thing was a real pain, you know? Play? What, you mean like play the stock market? You mean like the stock market? Nah, that's not what I mean. Why the hell would you think of that? I mean, yeah, I do stocks too. Oh, you do. But... That's that statement, more or less thrown away by Santa, caught Junpei very much by surprise. You? A stockbroker? Yeah. You got a problem with that? No, you just don't look like the type. What Junpei didn't say, of course, was that he didn't think Santa looked smart enough to be a stockbroker. Man, that stuff's just like gambling, you know? All you gotta do is bet on the winning horse. Nothing that hard about it. You should sound pretty confident. So, are you betting on winning horses? Of course I am. Remember a couple years back when the stock for Cradle Pharmaceuticals, there's that freaking thing again. The stock for Cradle Pharmaceuticals shot through the roof. Stacked a few bills over that, if I do say so myself. Uh-huh. They would have mentioned Cradle Pharmaceuticals. It's like all the options that I didn't pick are super foreshadows or something. Like the Olympic, now I know the third ship's name, and the pharmaceuticals getting mentioned much earlier. Didn't even get mentioned at all in my first playthrough, I'm pretty sure. Was all Junpei could think of. He'd never even heard of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Fortunately, he was saved quickly from further embarrassment. Hey, how long are you going to stand around wasting time? Stop screwing around! The voice screaming at them from the other room was unmistakably Lotus's. Junpei and Santa looked at each other. The lady has spoken. Santa sighed. Better get back to work before I really piss her off. I don't want her beating me up. And with that, Santa walked off slowly. Hey, wait! We weren't done! He started after Santa, intended to catch him, but... hello there, Lotus! Her posture suggested she was not about to let him pass. There was nothing for it. He had lost. Okay. I'll get back to work, damn it. His glare suggested any other choice would not have ended pleasantly for him. Junpei mumbled to himself under his breath and went back to his search. Oh, Junpei. That's what we call whipped. I guess it looks like... a koi. What even is it? I'm gonna be a smartass. A dog. Maybe a dog? See, you got the head here, and these are the front paws. And these are the back paws. Junpei traced the black contours. See? Oh, I see it. I guess he got a point. Santa, despite his constant aloofness, was clearly impressed. Junpei glanced over at Lotus. She looked stunned. How did you know? I've played the game before, this part at least. You're right. I didn't think you'd have been able to guess that. For a brief moment, Junpei felt a swell of pride. Yeah, guess. That's totally what it was. So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us. Notice now that I began to speak. A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted? Yes I have! I'm that awesome. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's a novel that had a bunch of stuff in it that described the sinking of the Titanic before it actually sank. Yeah, that's the one. The title of the novel is Futility. It was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But... I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but... the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened on the Titanic. Yeah. Well, I heard it was all a hoax. A hoax? I heard the stuff that matched up to the Titanic so well was actually added after it sank. Apparently the only thing that was the same originally was that a boat ran into an iceberg and sank. But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident. Like I said, that was the first print of the book. 14 years later, the author heard about what happened to the Titanic. He figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed himself in his novel. So that matched the Titanic exactly. Surprised by Junpei's response, June seemed rather taken aback. Really? Really? There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff. For a moment, June looked very unhappy. More so than Junpei thought was normal for such a discussion. But it lasted only a moment. For no apparent reason, she suddenly looked up at him. Alarmed. But, that wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking. It wasn't? Yep. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided and many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank. I don't know, I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day. Or even other ships. I wonder why it doesn't turn to a liquid first. Well, saying it did strike Junpei as rather odd, it would be, expanding the options here. But I want to be as, pessimistic toward this as possible. I want to, say, no, ignore this stuff, let's just get out. His patience was wearing thin. Hello, what I know? And how the hell is that going to help us get out of here? I don't have time for this crap. Actually, Junpei stopped mid-sentence, surprised by June's interjection. Under enough pressure, carbon dioxide will turn into a liquid. This isn't really a good time for a chat about science. But I was wondering the same thing. Wondering what? Wondering why carbon dioxide doesn't turn to a liquid unless it's under pressure. Right? Just seems weird. Water is a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? H2O and CO2 are pretty similar. No, they're not. They're totally different substances. Look, guys, if we keep this up, we're just gonna freeze to death. You good with that? You want to die talking about sublimation and gases? Because I sure do not. He fixed both of them with a glare. Let's get back to work. Assuming you don't want to end up like a pair of ice sculptures every day. Junpei turned around. The problem dealt with. Or so we thought. Aha! I can read minds. I can see the future. There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn to a liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. Question mark. I heard about it. The melting point is 96 degrees. Each melting point is 96 degrees. You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees? Yeah. Well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. It doesn't matter! It was strange, but no, Junpei told himself it didn't matter. The first concern needed to be leaving the freezer, or none of them would be around to ponder scientific quandaries for very long. It's best to pretend he'd heard nothing, and resume his investigation of the room. Oh, that's all? Really? In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went their separate ways. Soon only two of them were left. June and Junpei sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I. Those two were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others. Alright, we should go too. Yes, let's go. But where should we start? Let's see. Oh boy, what are... so my first choices last time were the casino and the hall of all the rooms. Then I guess this time let's go in the middle, first class cabin. What about the first class cabin on B deck? Sounds good. They took off up the stairs at a run. This is probably not going to be any more revealing in nature than the last two times we did it, but it's new option, so I might as well show it. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. Yay! She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. No, I've done everything! I guess I'll talk to her then. Or not, or maybe, or not. I want to talk to you. Are you alright? He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond. Look, I know you're really worried, but, he could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Crushed her? I think I said crushed her. And the her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to. Lone? Fire Blossom? I know it's a good card and all, but I mean, it's not really viable right now. There's too many broken shit in the game. The voice was thin, barely audible. Lone? I have a feeling you're not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! So leave me alone! Well, speak up, would you? Suddenly she was screaming. You're so annoying, just go away and leave me alone. Well, excuse me for trying to be a nice person. Looking at you guys, it's pissing me off. Go away, okay? Stop bothering me. Fine, I'll go somewhere else. Jerk face. Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hatred. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well. Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Gasps. Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just... Oh no. We'll leave. Like the decent people we are. They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Ooh, what you say? But you only meant well. At least you thought you did. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself, getting depressed, get him nowhere but more depressed. Of course, for Clover's sake, they had to find Snake fast. For Clover's sake, you see, here it's best to push away the misery and depression and force to smile. Where do you think we should go next? Let's go the only option that's not blacked out. Let's head back to the large hospital room. Alright, that's probably the best idea. Together they ran down the stairs. Reporting for duty. Has anything new happened? On the way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. Good question. Both options have been done, and I don't like talking to Santa, so we'll walk away without saying anything. Junpei turned around and walked away from Santa. There was nothing he'd learned from talking to him anyway. They took June and left the large hospital room. Where should they go next? Hall with all the rooms, of course! Let's go have a look at the hall with all the rooms. I'll go wherever you go. Oh boy. Bow chicka wow wow. They look in their pace and headed for the bow. Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace. Hey! Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there. I'm totally not bullshitting this just because I saw you two coming here. Junpei paused. So I wonder, like, has he just been doing this the whole time, you know, looking for Ace? Or did he just do it because he saw us coming? Did he? I don't know. That, I'm not sure, but that would be interesting to know. He's probably just been doing it a lot in general, because you never know when someone's gonna, you know, drop in on you when you're not paying attention, but let Ace handle it. Yeah, let's just leave this area to Ace so we can go somewhere else. I don't mind, but where? Let's see. The casino. Headed toward B-Deck. They were there. So was Lotus. Who's leaning against the wall, examining her nails. What do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him, unimpressed. Is it obvious? Looking for Snake. Just not seeing it. Really? Maybe you need to look harder. You didn't think that was the problem. By the way, not really. Refuse and leave, bitch! Nah, it's alright. Let's go, June. Junpei tugged June's arm and led her quickly back toward the stairs. Was that okay? You don't think we should have listened to her? No, I got a pretty idea what her proposal would have been. We should be looking for Snake. Where should we go next? I guess we're going back to the large hospital room. Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let this sacrifice go to waste. Right? Yeah, sacrifice. He doesn't feel any remorse, Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we? Huh? What do you mean? Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door. Ah, yes, that's true. Well, enough of this screwing around. decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want? I want number 8. The same number as my bracelet number. Got it. You're 8. Your next 7. Which do you want? 7. I can't get along with that old lady. What? Slapstick. Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar. You're gonna get it next time. She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off. Alright, who's next? His gaze moved across the three people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Oh boy, it's my turn. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Okay, so we're at the fatal decision again. I'm not even sure if we're gonna really be allowed to go into door 3. Like, I should probably just stop wasting time and check. But it'd be interesting because the whole reason, like, Ace sacrificed himself was so that, you know, we could all go through. But if we try to go through door 3, we won't all be able to go through. Which will be interesting, but the person we'll have to leave behind is Santa. Actually, if I remember doing the math. I think that's what it came up to. That would be funny if we left behind Santa. It's like, yep, sorry Santa. We'd come back for him, but I still think it would be funny. Leave behind the 2 douchebags. Oh, and there's one other thing I thought of. I remember there's like, there's supposed to be like 4 baddies, right? 4 bad guys behind the plot of the first Nonary game, and I know there's like Ace, and I theorize maybe the 9th man, and also the guy who was killed in Snake's clothing, and I think, yeah, the 4th person, the one who I recently thought of in between recordings, was the ship captain that we find on the first playthrough when we went with Ace and Clover into the door and we found the Zero's corpse, quote unquote. That might be the 4th person. If that's the case, then that would be all 4, which makes sense. But I don't know for sure. That's just my theory right now. So, which door? Door 3. I want to go through door number 3. No. What? You can't. Am I really not going to be allowed to? Huh? Why? Because it's impossible. If we split ourselves into 3 and 3, then we give up on going through door 3. Why? The bracelet number for the 6 of us are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So are you telling me I literally can't go into this door? Then I wouldn't be able to really go into door 2 either, right? Because door 2, I leave someone behind. I mean, I guess at that point it's not as bad because we know everyone loops around, but am I really not going to be able to go through door 3? Really? There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3 with 3 people. 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door. I see. That means 1 team would get left behind. That's right. That doesn't happen if we go through door 7 or 8? No, they're fine. We've got 3 options. Santa began to explain. Oh boy. We're gonna get lecture 2 and then forced to go through 7 and 8. Really? Well, I guess we're not going through that 3 door, unless something changes very soon. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least, we want to get all 6 of us out of here. That was when Junpei realized. Plan A divided into 2 teams. Plan B divided into 2 teams. Plan C divided into 2 teams. Is realizing that both of them have 5 and 6 on different teams. There was one thing they had all in common. Every single combination, 5 and 6 were never on the same team. There's also another thing they have in common, and another thing. In other words, if all 6 people were to move forward, Junpei and June would be separated. June and Junpei had been friends when they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else in the ship. If he chose 7 or 8, he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do? So think it over. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm still good to go through door 3 anyway. It just means we have to leave your sorry ass behind. You got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can't choose 3. If you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die. No, just 1. You. I math good, right? Because 4 plus 5 is 9. And then 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 8 is 21, 2 plus 1 is 3, plus the 9 is 3. So yeah, just gotta leave you behind. So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8, time to choose. Junpei thought hard. After thinking it over, his conclusion was... Really now? Door 7, door 8, or take the risk and choose door 3? Okay, sure. What does this lead to? I'm curious. Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3. What? That's nuts. You gotta be crazy. Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door? Because I haven't gone into it yet. You know, either my previous playthroughs. I want to go through 3. I'm just... Junpei paused. He swallowed the words he's been about to say. I'm just curious about door 3, that's all. It doesn't explain shit. I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain it to you if you'll just come with me. With that, he began walking toward the door. Their curiosity likely getting the better of them, the others followed. Ooh, this is intriguing. I was gonna be here like, oh, we're not gonna be allowed to go through door 3, but then the game's like, oh, you are. Interesting. A few of them looked a little suspicious, but Junpei told himself that wouldn't matter. He kept walking and kept silent. Eventually they arrived at the number 3 door. Junpei stopped. I'm curious about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me? Huh? Why? Please, just do it. Oh my god, new stuff! I'm so excited! He stared at Junpei for a moment, then grunted and laid his palm heavily on the scanner. I'm starting to really like the parts where Junpei is doing stuff and we're not entirely sure what he's doing yet. Cause like, what is he doing? What is he thinking? I don't know! Happy? Yeah, thanks. The number 7 had been entered into the red. Next is June. Please touch the red just like 7 did. Jumpy, what are you trying to figure out? Junpei thought about his answer for a moment. I think I might have found another way out. Huh? What? Really? That got them excited. Just as Junpei had intended. Now please, June. Okay. What is his plan? I am very interested now. 7 plus 6 equals 13, 1 plus 2 equals 4. With those 2 numbers in the red, Junpei had what he wanted. He casually placed his own hand on the scanner and the 3rd asterisk blinked on. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Alright. The only people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus. So what's your point? You don't get it? Think about it. What's the sum of your number and Clover's? 12. And what's the digital root of that? 3. Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the number that's currently in the red? 7 plus 6 plus 5 equals 18. It would be 9, right? Yes. And what will the digital root be if you add 3 to that? 3. The door's number. There you go. Hey, wait a minute! What the hell are you up to? I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa. Or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice. So I'm waiting. Junpei laid his hand almost casually on the lever.